Exalt's trying to hold down this compound while Exhalation moving in from the high ground. Exalt, once again, though, might be barraged here. Exhalation throwing in some nades through the windows. Exalt might need to evade those, whilst Exhalation throwing in more nades on towards the roof, or at least towards that second floor. And Fate now from Exalt has been knocked by iZoom from Exhalation.
I see what you're doing, James.
What
you're doing.
What's
the boom, grabbing around the corner, should be able to get one here, even up against the shotgun. Able to come out on top. Scar prevails, as now the push continues on through. An Exhalation truly doing them dirty. 3 down in a second. Hello, my bad. Finds a double inside the building, and now it's just Art left alive.
Yeah, nothing's... they're trying to start the engine, and it just keeps stalling in a lot of these situations. Only 15 points on the board here. They only barely qualified through the lower bracket in the final game. When pressure was against them, admittedly, they did make it happen. However, now there is a lot of pressure hitting them on multiple fronts in multiple games, and they're not making it happen. They're gone. I mean, even though everybody's contributed, everyone's got themselves a kill against the Exalt. Why? Very impressive. But here comes a drop in on top of FaZe, and looks like the Woo here is trying to make a bit of a meal of it. Fex will fall after already taking out Ibby himself, but this is off emergency drops.
Yeah. It's once against the fly-in that I think works against both these teams, simply because I don't think any of them was expecting them to sit in this position. And once again, it's Wu coming out at a loss.
So we're now flying forward here at DA. DA has chosen an interesting entry point here. I'm surprised by this. We'll talk about it in a moment, but they're dropping straight onto HOWL and actually going to be taking trade for trade, blow for blow. Lyron is trying to salvage things here now that Code Marco's down, but Schofield will get him. So much Turkish on Turkish action to start off this game. Our conversation was quite apt. I mean, they're the two teams that we were alluding to earlier, right? In terms of these two teams. World champion, PEC champion, neither's really got much on the board just yet. Now they're going to have to go head-to-head against one another here, whilst Entropiq's dealing with Monarch on the other side of the circle. So Uber's trying to find the picks wherever he can. He actually had good lines of sound, people. Example's already hit into Ruin here. So Navi starts off with the advantage.
Yeah, it's going to be real hard. I mean, again, they're coming up this hillside having no clue where the opponents are, and Navi will spread out, will kind of control Taken in this position. And now, we'll see if Laza can potentially wrap around here. There is a play to be made. If he can get the surprise angle, issue is his teammates are falling like flies, and now there's just one left to find. You'd have to imagine that now is where Navi groups up to make sure that even if a knock does come through, they're instantly there to trade. Look at it, now they're sweeping together.
Let's see, spray coming in, and that was not the Alia spray. It was able to finish off Schofield there. That was Example looking for an opportunity. Laz is going to be moving away, trying to get out of dodge. And healing on up, but, well, they got absolutely... Well, I was about to say ruined by Navi. And, yeah, unfortunately for them, can't catch a break.
Taking around on the edge of smoke there, or edge of blue, I should say. Trying to make his way on back. In the meantime, Exhalation wrapping around the far western side. Have found the knock onto Thunderlust, and now they need to continue moving forward. Issue is, phase 3. Blue doesn't hurt all that much, but it is enough to force Hello My Bat to stay behind for a second.
How much can these nades do? Hopper throws it forwards. There's a little bit of cover here for Yeppa to actually work with. Odin on the roof here is actually able to catch one angle straight away, and nade almost catches him completely in the face, but not to be. As Voldemort takes out Daboom. This is not going that well for Exhalation here. Yeppa is dealing with this nicely.
Hold off here, no casualties taken. Of course, they aren't really the ones to have to make a plan. I'm seeing on the minimap that 8C is starting to push over here on foot. His team is far away from this still, but they clearly want a piece of this action.
Yes, they do. Getting involved in it at just the right time could be great, because they could catch Yeppa here in the back. Hello My Bed is completely done now, as sneaking on through some of these smokes. Exhalation trying to get a little bit of a spray going on here as well, but it's going to be gone. It will be 8T actually finishing off Hobber, so now that fight is going to begin here. T-Bone's very far away, though.
Question is whether they're in too deep now in order to be able to back off, because now Navi, with space to maneuver on the west side of the new circle, are able to flex out and take control to Vart. He's able to find the first one with the nade. We'll see now if it's going to be a Thunderlust, and Yeppa backing off of this one.
It's a good knock. Beyond that, though, let's see how this is going to go. Phil first, actually. As always, man, just an absolute rocket of a player dealing with DA on the other side of this map. And FUT is going to disengage for the moment. I think considering you don't have T-Bone, considering you're not quite putting the boot in as fast as you would like, it's a decent back off, but Monarch here blasting Twisted Minds in the blue.
Yeah, I mean, it's outside the circle too for both FUT and Yeppa, so no reason for them to really stick around. Now it's just saying, yeah, Twisted Minds in trouble. As Lou tries to salvage something off of it. We'll see if he finds a knock. One more attack to do it. Correctly, the one to help him out. Who gets the kill, though? It is going to be Lou. So 1 point claim for Twisted Minds in what you could, I suppose, only describe as a throwaway game.
Yeah, at this point, yeah. Quite unfortunate to be caught out where they were, but, you know, that's how it's going to go. Yeppa is going to be sending it straight into the middle now to try and find some land for themselves. Twisted Minds down in 12. And FUT on the far west now. Going to be caught as a barrier team in Navi, as well as Sarvum's going to try and shut them down.
Good knock from Mouse there. Kind of a solo player from Monarch up front. Thing with the issue for Gustav, I should say, is that while I think it's still the first knock on him, Correctly is a little further away, and he needs to hit shots, and of course a double headshot as soon as Mouse peeks over. Correctly finds him, and now he needs to run to the aid of his teammate.
And now Scav is going to look to just try and get eke out some revenge, but Mexi is doing a lot here on the east side. Already 2 members of Question Mark down. Philfirst is there as well, but never mind. Philfirst just wins those himself. The nade will finish it off, but I need to get Mexi up fast.
That's a back up. Nade in hand obviously hurt the shots. Land on the hillside down below. And now, with T1 spotted, you'd have to imagine, yep, that's going to be FUT out.
They're gone. It's an aggressive push in by Entropiq as well to try and seize some of the central location from Yeppa, who has had to stem the tide of multiple teams all game long here. Voldemon's doing something all right, though, because FaZe is trying to crunch down on their position from that west side. And you need to keep an eye on this, but it's not going to be enough for FaZe. They will be down in 9th. Good stuff by Yeppa overall.
Yep, FaZe got into military, and Snakes tore them apart as they fall, as they make their way on out. In the meantime, Uber and Example working in tandem, taking out Sarvim out towards the western side. So as you said, Navi needed a good showing, and this might just be at 7 kills already and no casualties.
It could be a big brain play here by Entropiq. Depends on whether or not they actually get the lines of sight on them quickly. They realize they keep, like, a knock keeps happening and nothing keeps happening off the knock. That's the problem. So they really wanted to kind of press the issue a little bit here. But with Navi 4 alive, this double wrap could go terribly. They could see them instantly. And now Lookerux is down to AfterAlt as they've peeked over the ridge.
Really smart play here from AfterAlt. They never over-aggress. They never full speed send it into it. They just slowly take what SpaceX Entropiq gives them. And now, to trying to back off, they are instantly torn apart. And now Entropiq has to commit to the fight despite being 2v3. Make that 2v4 if Example gets back up alive. Yeah,
and the thing is that AfterAlt could quite easily get lines of sight on Entropiq here as well while this fight's going on. They are looking towards Navi to start things off. Danimon, there we go. He takes out Entropiq because they were in absolute no man's land down there. There was no cover against the AfterAlt position. They kind of know that they have the numbers advantage, be it that as an advantage over anything, regardless of terrain, but Danimon's been hit. So that makes it a 2v4, and now Acend is going to be the one that's going to be peeking over. Navi knows they have to finish this quick. They're trying to aggress as hard as possible on this, and they will finish it off fast, but how can they react now? That was a perfect cleanup. Now they've got to deal with Acend.
But it's been an interesting start to the day regardless. Of course, we had a few issues early on, causing some remakes to happen, but outside of that, these players are coming in warm, and now the trap has been sprung. Kildekai finds one, but he goes down instantly in return. But if they don't keep applying pressure, we know how Navi can sometimes just run away with it. Sometimes this train just comes in at full speed and there's nothing you can do to slow them down. Right now, they're applying all the pressure, they're hitting all the shots, and now Alia sees an opening, but Chris instantly responds.
Threw in the nade as the circle was pushing. Sow the seeds of chaos while it's all going on. Micah here on the right-hand side, looking to wrap around against Navi, but if 3 barrels turn towards him on that tree, he isn't going to be destined for this world for much longer. The 3v2 is on the way. Brexco is in no man's land. He's not going to be picked up anytime soon. So Navi still with the advantage in terms of the manpower.
7 spare bullets for Alia, not a whole lot to work with. Mika now peeking over the top, does just exactly cannot see Example. Now he peeks up and over. Shots are fired, but they have them split, and I think they're starting to realize this. Chris on one side, Mika on the other. If they can find just one, if they can isolate these fights somehow, but this ball ain't granting them any advantage.
That was a smoke, never mind. I was confused by the colors. It's Chris, though, hitting a really nice spray against all of this. I guess the smoke did cause some chaos itself for them. Nice trades here. Back and forth. 2v2 now.
Again?
Chris finds Uber. Chris!
So much damage been done. And again, the fact that neither of them the fact that they can play it smart for as long as they do. Brexco is crawling on top of Example, saying, he's here, he's right here, he's literally on me. And then in doing so, Chris finds the third, finds the final. And Acend, while it might not have been a flashy start, they sure brought it home in the end. I don't think Navi is aware of this. At least they'll find out very soon, and so will Batulins.
Sees the vehicle, though. Yeah, that's a dead giveaway, and they're just going to take him for free. That's really unfortunate for Batulins here. Using this area to scout and not realizing that Navi was laying in wait like a panther, going "Rrr," and they were able to strike.
Yeah, at least you would imagine. Yeah, shots already being fired now. That DA is going to see them on approach. So Code Marco, well, there's one car there. That's a free info for Navi. They all get to land as well. Hewitt is now coming up to help, but Code Marco needs all the help he can get. It sure is. It's coming in too late.
Big shots. Code Marco not able to withstand it. Likewise, Hearth trying to reinforce, but it looks like, yeah, there's no way for you to be able to really salvage this situation.
But here they come. Acend rolling on down the hill, as now for the first time, playing in late to this military circle.
Yeah, this is very late and also quite ambitious. We've seen them be successful with these kinds of players in the past. This time around, everybody is super ready and waiting for these kinds of moves, considering the way the circles have moved and considering how everybody tried to populate the military so quickly. So Brexco, +1. Micah, it is. Here, still trying to move past teams. They're trying to find a spot to pitch up on, but they just can't find one.
In the meantime, Navi parachuting in from the edge, are starting to make landfall right where they were in the previous game. This time around, though, quite a few more opponents around.
Yeah, if they can take strong fights, this will be quite the good drop in. Now, what's cool about that, actually, that you were talking about before, is that usually when an Ascend gets knocked, as more knocks go through, they would assume that they were up on radio tower. So that's why they didn't realize that Wu was going to come in behind them. But anyway, that is going to be Entropiq here blasting Exhalation down. Entropiq down for the 3rd place. And I mean, with that, it's, yeah, they got themselves 3 kills on the board, but they want to solidify themselves up there a bit better than that. Hibako gets blasted down by Nixie, as well as some of the shots coming in from Navi as well. That was quite the ambitious play. I'm not sure where he was going. I think he wanted to try and wrap on Navi, but didn't even realize there was other teams present.
Well, speaking of wrapping, here comes Yeppa. I think they think that they're pulling up to this quietly, but not quite the case. A lot of damage being done. This one does fall, but Medibay from the flank finds one in return. Solid damage coming through as Keanu down to just 5 bullets. Can't get it going. And once again, Medibay, the one to come out victorious.
Meanwhile, you're still having AfterAlt, still alive somehow briefly, but now they will fall as FUT is the next ones to try and control this space. They've got an extreme 2-2 split right now across this circle. As long as they can make sure that nobody's pushing up aggressively on them, this is fine.
I mean, you say try and maintain this space. They're effectively sitting on 80% of the circle right now. They can't play out there in the open down towards the west side. In the meantime, Navi, well, making great use of nades. That's how you find a triple kill right there. Because they are at 8. We are a couple of seconds away from all kinds of hell breaking loose down towards the military base proper.
Yes, we are. Question mark. Going to be no stranger to taking these kind of fights against the teams in this area, as we have still FaZe holding down these buildings for what seems like 2 games now, and doing all right against Monarch so far.
Every single move you make here, you're getting spotted by an entire team just waiting for you. This is a snake field unlike any. As all these players are trying to sneak their way further forward. Schofield missing crucial shots. Really would have wanted to hit as Perfectix goes down to low HP. Hells to re-peek. It doesn't have an angle to heal. As I say that though now, he is going to try and heal and he ain't going to find it. Schofield once again. Those damage needed, but Spyro instantly there to return.
Keen to find the wide angle there, and it did leave him a little bit vulnerable too, but Rune's coming in to try and clean this up. Blue goes down. He had the M249 in his hands of all things. Spiro's in the distance. He's going to try and peek around. He actually saw him as he like flicked beyond that little opening. And now, going to be moving back slightly. Sees the transition across. Spiro hits quite a bit of that spray. Will he hit any more? Rune goes for a jump, and he will be taken down by Spiro. There needs to be reinforcements coming in here for HOWL.
Last bullet in the chamber there as well, able to get him down with it. And as you're saying, the reinforcement has to arrive, but Laza is alone. He's late to it as well. Now down to low HP and just 11 bullets to work, but still not inside the next circle yet. He has to move, and Dante gets the better.
Yeah, just too keen on trying to deal with that. Left himself to open to other angles as well. Spirit's going to get for the heal. Here's Zarvam now, who's been holding down this location for quite a while. They're getting themselves a few kills on the board. Still quite high when it comes to the overall rankings. Well, for themselves at least, with 40 points. But Navi surpassed them in a matter of 2 games, basically. Yeah. And Exalt just throwing a few throwables across. I mean, this is such a hard spot to get out of. They're going to have to use the smokes to their advantage.
Question mark running each other over. They had a good time to get down early to set up in front of all these teams trying to leave, and now they have to spool. try and reset this one. Good thing for them is the fight down here stalling a bit as well. Now see Monarch eliminated. Example falls as well. That's up towards the north. As FaZe Clan has to leave, but now Exalt push on forward. Maldok taken out.
A transition through the smokes. Had to try and make something happen against this. Otherwise, they were just going to be caught up against it, up against the blue. Tries to go through the vault forwards, realizing the heal was off, but it doesn't matter. The man advantage for Sarvum wins out the day.
Nah, there's no reason for FaZe to try and wrap up the hillside in this one. I was just thinking, if this fight escalates up high, maybe they pull up on it. That's so dangerous.
Big spray from Alia coming in, and Uber as well, hitting on FUT. The division for these guys, it was non-existent anymore because FUT have completely rendezvoused together on this east side to try and hold them out. But will it be successful? Because Uber and Alia are putting in some work. Uber goes down to T-Bone. It's all going to be on Alia now to try and find the fix here. But Vard's got him dead to rights, and FUT will take down Navi.
Even if they fall, 11 kills, this game is a good show. And what I thought maybe we'd see FaZe do is exactly what Question Mark does. They gave them the space, they backed off, and Question Mark knew exactly when to make the aggressive play forward. So who knows, maybe them running each other over actually helped them out in the end there.
Maybe. It seems at this point, though, that as soon as you finish up a fight, Question Mark's there to answer the door afterwards. Yeah. Phil first and Bestalosh here putting in work, putting on a clinic against FUT. And now they have the entirety of the North Circle to their lonesome. Everybody else is stuck in the South. This could be a relatively free Question Mark victory.
You'd think so, but keep in mind, Mika is still alive. So the Ascent dream for the win here lives as he is somehow, I don't want to say somehow, but found top 5, which is
what a gamer.
Pretty wild considering where they were just before. Lyron thrown this one out and stay alive on the southern side. Snakes galore down here still. As Baron P, Corexi, and Mika will all soon have to make their way further forward.
If Question Mark finds Fex, and then yes, there's definitely a real possibility that you could get second place, right? And they find him.
Yeah, sometimes you get them going your way. That's the first one down. Now Corexi is left up alone. Lyron, can you do anything here? Or are you just going to prone it out and allow for Question Mark to do the work for you? It is the top 6 teams that are alive right now, which of course is going to make things even more interesting for those on the hunt right now, which in this case would be DA, Question Mark, and Ascend. But the fact that Ascend stays alive, of all the teams that you would want to give a second or third place in this game, like this was the chance for everyone to start reclaiming, like to actually play for 2 BGS spots and not just 1. But the fact that Ascend stays alive through all of this, it's just salt in the wound, really.
And it's even more salty when Question Mark gets themselves another boatload of points, who is the next team that would be trying to take that PGS 2 spot. So, just going to sit here for the moment. That's it. He gets second place, mate. Wow. He gets second place. Ooh.
In a game where everything was going against them. In a game where they were driving through the open, flipping vehicles down hillsides and taking casualties by the second, they somehow come out with a 7-point game. That is a hell of a performance.
Just run in there, blast him down. Question Mark gets themselves the win on the board. That pushes them up to 3rd place here. And again, in a very important running to try and get them towards PGS 2. That was good stuff coming out from Question Mark.
FaZe has been one of the towns on TAEGO thus far that have committed to cities pretty quickly. They sit in here, they wait for teams to come their way, and this time around is no different. Exhalation, in the meantime, trying to full speed send it on the southern side, but down towards the south. They're going to run straight into an AfterAlt setup here, which so far isn't quite working the way that I think AfterAlt wanted it to.
No way Daboom's going to be able to get out of that as well. Yes, he goes down to Aenan and looking for a little bit more with all of this. Hobber was actually making the seat swap here to try and make something work, and does get Aenan, whilst Klim finishes off Daboom. So, a little bit of a blow for blow at the moment. Izum and Hello My Bad really need to come in and actually reinforce this, but Danimon's going to be the one to take out Hobber from that angle.
Damage done on both sides here as the reset comes through. Enan, if he can get back on his feet, yep, should be able to do so. He'll be able to stay put. Twisted Mind's able to find points in it, and here you see why FaZe opted to commit to the city so fast. They knew there were going to be more teams trying to wrap in here. Teams that, again, because we haven't scouted the terrain properly yet, are just going to commit to the city saying, we don't know where else to go. We literally don't know what dips are playable. Let's just go to the city. So, shots fired this time around. EB does fall to the nade. And curious to see if maybe Twisted Minds opts to aggress more forward. We have seen them slowly creep up towards this fight. Daniman right now, though, is the solo defender towards the south. They really need to deal with move fast if they want to be able to survive this.
What? Oh my god, that turnaround here from Nixie on Klim. I thought that Klim had him dead to rights on that transition, but no. That was pretty wild there. Nixie is now down, though, as Hibako will actually put that to the end. But look at all the shots coming in against these teams here. This really shows just how the terrain on TAEGO can be quite punishing at times. It's so open for these teams to try and make the transitions and make the fights happen.
What? Just constantly swapping seats to avoid the bullets, I think he might have been. And now the enemy actually might be able to get out of here alive. I'm not sure how he baited Spiro so hard, but in the end he will fall.
Now already Acend is on the move down to the south.
Teams trying to hold up here against Best Luck. That is an easy as a pick as you get. Finds the double headshot connected. Best Luck falls to the ground. Lucy spotted now as well, mid-transition on the edge of the bush. We'll see if teams... I mean, he has 5 nades, but can he lob it through the window?
There's always going to be someone on the crossing the T angle against you when you're wiggling left and right, but it doesn't change your position to the person who's looking at you from the side. That's unfortunate, but FUT able to do quite a bit of damage here, actually, against AfterAlt, as well as Twisted Minds on this side, as the big moves are trying to happen here from these teams on the east side, knowing that there really isn't much to play for, but FUT's just holding them all at bay.
Exactly, really preventing them from going anywhere. Perfect Exalt as his helmet gets torn off. Blue will try and get him back on his feet, I'd imagine, but the Tulans in the meantime trying to defend alone against all of Entropiq. Say that Lugarux was alone before, but now the team has arrived. Tulans trying to wrap around the side. Not going to happen as Nail Up finds him.
I thought he was going to try and continue that spray, but not to be the case here. As you say, Nail Up puts the nail in the coffin for him. It will be throwables on towards the rest of Twisted Minds, who are kind of also next to Ienan, kind of next to Vard. Very, very sandwiched at the moment as Twisted Minds. It's going to be hard to get out of this one.
Yeah, impossible. Ienan does spot one, takes the second as well. Nice spray transfer there. And taking down both of the Twisted players as they fall in 14th.
They're down. Ien's still alive until just now gets taken out at a distance here from FUT, considering how poor a day they had previously, and then the start of these games weren't Navi games, so they didn't go that well either. But
that's a good nade.
Nice nade indeed, clearing up Nail Up.
Right on his feet, and now it's just Mexi and Ivers left alive, and I feel like, man, as much as FUT wants to focus west right now, they need to keep looking towards Entropiq. They cannot give up that angle and allow for Entropiq to potentially get a foothold, and especially not now with DA coming in that direction too.
Trying for it, Hearth going all the way past Entropiq, but just feeding them points at this point. Mexi is going to be still alive. Nail up to the top cannot be saved. It's going to be up to Mexi to try and do something. Shots come through. Don't quite finish him off, but that nade will. And that is DA. Killing off Entropiq.
As they're trying to cross on forward. As I say that, though, it's actually Exalt.
Sarvan would like to hold off DA, but they're also being assisted by FUT from the distance, but they get completely killed off. It's also question mark here. Able to shoot their way.
Now is where they have to be wise, though, because yes, they can go aggressive, but before the players have to move, they could be looking in their direction. Monarch does fall out towards the west as HOWL makes more space for himself. Lassa finds the double, and now the fight continues up towards, or down towards the southern side, I should say. As question mark try and bounce forward. Brexco able to find the first, but he knows there's a full team coming up right behind it.
If question mark gets a little bit more as well from this game, look how terrifying this is. Like, you've got 2 spots for PGS 2, and it's Ascend and question mark at the top, still alive, still with opportunity of getting something on the board, and question mark has 7 so far. Phil first, Besto, Aduzi, and Dante all still up. If they can get Aduzi somehow, they will get him up here. They're fighting tooth and nail to be able to move through these fields.
So once again, see Best of luck. We charge here, trying to run on forward, but constantly under fire from the north.
Trying his best as Ascend's attention is kind of turned a little bit. They know that the fights are happening above them. HOWL taking the fight with Exalt, who Fate is down at the moment. Aldoc's charging up a nade here, but gets hit by a nade coming in from Ruin as well. The fact that Laz's blue nade as well, able to do a little bit of ticking damage while this is going on. Big stuff, but a nice spray from Artix coming around the corner.
Yeah, I think Ruin had a nade in hand too. Indeed, he did. So he will fall. Are they going to get the rest up here? They could commit to it, but it's dangerous knowing that Laza is on the other side. If you want to get that up, you got to do it now before the blue nade collapses back down. And indeed, now that just happened. So can't commit to the Moldog rest. Damage done towards Laza, though.
At the same time while this is going on, question mark's pushed up completely against Ascend. And Ascend is actually getting involved here as HOWL gets knocked. And where's HOWL during all of this? I guess he was trying to hold things off, but Artix will be able to get him over the box. Here comes question mark now.
This is a difficult hold off. It's just Chris down here. Brexquaz literally just drove it north, far and far away. Said, Chris, please just bait their attention for long enough to me, or for me to make my way inside the circle. I can't save you. You're alone against all of question mark. And somehow, well, somehow Chris is still alive.
He's trying. He's going to have to make some absolute magic happen here, and it's not going to be enough at all. FUT can see him from across the way. But now, I mean, this shows the vulnerability of question mark's eventual transition from that building. You can see how open it is. Cars are going to try and be utilized. There's 3 in that car. Is there going to be 4 in that car? Spraying comes in, killing off Acend. Thankfully, they're taken out early-ish compared to where they've normally been at.
Exalt solo play against the entirety of question mark. If he finds one, I mean, the knock would be acceptable. If he gets a flush here, that's a big mistake on the side of question mark.
Trying for it. Artix is able to hit one on Dante. Gets himself a doozy, but Phil First finishes it off because Phil First is a beast. Acend and question mark are gaining an extreme gap over the teams that are also eligible. You're thinking it's almost it's a 21-point gap right now against question mark and Entropiq, as Bestalosh just decides to do Bestalosh things once again. Hit some nutty shots and try and chuck in some nades for good measure.
Do they try to wrap on this? I think that's what question mark is starting to fear now as well, because there is a chance with the smokes being deployed that FUT could try and wrap east around, or northwest around on this circle. Of course, the more that Sabin has to crawl on forward, the more they're going to be seen on the other side. T-Bone finds one. Global Army goes down to the blue. FUT up to 10 as the final member of Sabin, Schiller, will go down slow HP, but now the flank has started. T-Bone finds one. 80 finds the other. Beanie is on the angle. 2 finds the third. And just like that, question mark dismantled. Dante down to 1 HP as there is just one player left alive on either team.
1,000 damage coming in from T-Bone. FUT is able to get the win. Okay, my bad.
Yeah, he went down there very early, very much.
Oh, interesting. Well,
so hard. Well, can't really blame him for that one.
He also gone. Yeah, Batulin's doing Batulin's things as Lou is able to catch him on the rotate past. So the rest are going to circumnavigate this position, get out a dodge because those shots from Lou are dangerous. Yeah, and the thing is as well is that, again, emergency drops have opened up angles that just didn't exist prior. So when you're taking spots like this and trying to deal with them, then eventually FaZe is coming from this unplayable that he normally wouldn't be able to get up on. It makes it a little bit more precarious unless you're accounting for these extra angles that have opened up. So for Yeppa, it doesn't look like they've done so much, and FaZe is just slaughtering them.
Yep, as we said during the lower bracket qualifiers, sometimes teams are the boxer, sometimes they're the punching bag, and Yeppa has been just kind of been points up for grabs for teams here in the final so far. I don't mean to be rude, but that has been the case, and here they fall once more.
Where is he
There's
going?
a little dot where it could happen, but no, not gonna happen. Not this time either. Then we're reaching the fun spot where we both have unplayable mountains and water in, so it could go anywhere. In the meantime, HOWL getting some much needed points here as they're finishing off 2 Entropiq players.
Big shotgun plays coming in from the map there. Very nicely done. FaZe is kind of perched up against this hillside, and eventually we'll need to move on out. James is nowhere near with them as well, though, so a vert nade will not bounce far enough. But oh my, never mind the vert nade. Kurexi, a homing missile.
That was the bait of a lifetime. Lob one in the air, have him bait the attention, and then just take him out afterwards. In the meantime, question mark. They played it on the western side. They wanted to play it slow, but then obviously there's this circle pubs, and because you have exhalation on the hillsides, there's nowhere for them to go but into the city, excuse me. Sure could have been. In the meantime now, what could be crazy as well, is Exalt going, oh, hello, Navi, you want some kills? Because here we come.
Oh, no.
Down, and
Ferris is alive.
Yeah, there you go.
For about 4 seconds longer.
And he's dead.
Fexix is hungry for some shots here as he hears the vehicles moving along. And great shots from Spiro, actually, being the one to be able to put the boot in against Micah.
Yep, full committing on that one, sprinting up the hill trying to find it. Now, Sheila, does he get Gillikai down? Nope, a lot of damage done to the vehicle. That car ain't bound for a whole lot more rotations as Gillikai jumps out, taken down. Acend finally dealt with in the early games. 0 points for them.
Yeah, they are. There's an opportunity as we have lots more shots coming in against the Wu here. Keanu's trying to make a mad dash for it, but it's not going to be enough. Will be shut down by Sarvam completely, who have the tip of Impala The parachutes are opened up, so it wasn't so much rock climbing as it was kind of base jumping here, but great shots coming in against iZoom. Another one's going to be open to it. Phil First is absolutely hitting every single one of these. We're watching Vascu's POV, but it was Phil First that was able to do the majority of the work.
This fight between FaZe and FUT, the winner of this could also be the winner of the game, because they will be able to reclaim that high ground. Damage done on multiple fronts. Now it's actually Twisted Minds helping out FaZe, or helping out FUT Esports, I should say, and keeping the position under control, but they do have Navi nearby.
Yeah, maybe Navi will try and wrestle it away from them. Mexi is also able to shut down Hobber on this side here with Entropiq. Now, they're back against the blue a little bit, so it's going to be up to Mexi and Ivus to try and make sure that they can shut down Exhalation and then get moving fast. Because moving through these cities is hard enough when you don't have a time limit. Never mind when you do.
Exactly. Good nade, lopped on forward, bounces off the car, finds Marco as well. Spill first, throws one more. Goes a bit too far on the second one though, but instantly swaps over, finds the forest, finds the second as well. Phil First has been a beast in this tournament so far. A big part of the reason why Question Mark is currently sat up there in second, tied with a second. That's the thing, they're sat down. I mean, now we're turning up to the north side of the city. It's all these layers upon layers upon layers. So many small hills and increments that are making it practically impossible to defend anything. And Monarch are sat down in that little dip below Question Mark. They can't really do a whole lot before Question Mark peeks over the ridge. And right now, as much as, yes, they would want some extra kills going their way, they're just going to have to kind of, I mean, accept the fact that they're only being given what's ending down towards them. And now, the next one is going to be Monarch to make the same move.
Steady as she goes here, as Navi's just going to hold the ground. Oh, a BMX near Danimon. Let's go. As nades. No, don't blow up the bike! No!
That's what James is worried about. No! The bike!
This is ruined. My entertainment is ruined, Toby.
Ah, there you go. Okay. We're set about that, James. In the meantime, let's look at Twisted Minds and AfterAlt trying to fight this one off again. Both the teams will probably die at the end of this one. We did see that. But look at the bike, and there you go, James.
Yes!
Entertainment back on.
Yes, all right, let's go. Danimon is going to win this game. He's going to clutch it out on the bike. He's going to shoot people with a pistol. We're going to be going. It's going to be great, but at the same time, now he's dead.
Yeah.
Damn it.
Down he goes. As we said, Twisted Minds and AfterAlt, this fight.
Oh my god.
Both teams are going to die at the end of it. Nice.
What?
Nice quick kill there. Lou now, solo player to life, does get it back on low HP. They can't see anything inside the smokes. And Lou will win. 9 kills for Twisted Minds. And now for FUT Esports, it was going to be a tough fight against Navi, but they've found 2. They need to find the remaining 2 in Melman and Alia.
The T-Bone big wraparound could be impactful, and indeed it will be here as he finishes off. Alia finishes off Uber, and 80's down as well. It's all on Melman to try and salvage it, but with FUT having this advantage with the high ground as well as the big wrap, it's all but done here. You know, Sarvam's doing all right for themselves. 1 knocked at the moment, and they should be able to get him back up. There is a potential that they're able to convert big on this and try and join that top pack.
Are they pushing it? Yes, they are. T-Bone, nice position here. They sent 2 around the left-hand side, and Flash forcing Melman to look that direction. T-Bone wraps on the other one. They get him down with it. But now let's see. They have Savam on the other side. They need to be wary of that. At the same time, Monarch here. Vasco knocked. They should be able to get the rest. Again, these multiple hills that you're working with, these different levels of elevation, are allowing for reses to come through, but also only giving you so much time to work with.
Still, the solos persist. Mexi still alive for Entropiq. And eventually, he has to get rooted out here. FUT is looking towards him slowly. And likewise, you're having HOWL slowly coming in behind Monarch where they're going. That's insane damage.
Almost Kaboom. 3 with 1 nade. CC peeks on over, finds the last.
Oh, no.
As Monarch are just, I mean, completely destroyed. Let's see here, Sarvim and FUT back-to-back top 3 finishes for these 2 teams as they're trying to isolate HOWL, but with the amount of smokes, this is becoming a full-on blind man's warfare with HOWL 1 nade away from destruction.
All right, who's got the M249 to run in and just spray on everything? That's because you can't see. There's nothing to see. Yeah. Everyone's blind. Completely smoked. This is ridiculous. Global Army has a sawn-off shotgun. TC next start things off against Lazar on the right-hand side here. Another spray transfer as well as Beamy. Oh, he's up on the high ground. He's up on the high.
He's actually jumped up on the tractor. Global Army finds one. That's going to be the second one down. Third one down to Salvin. Starts taking casualties as well. HOWL in trouble too, as now more kills come through. And once again, no, it's Salvin. Salvin wins the game from down below. Chiller with the saw-off takes out 8C. In the meantime now, HOWL was set they had to fortify or group up. We said they had to come to the defense of the mat. And actually, Matt found Keanu, and now the push in comes through.
No way. If this is the reverse, this is insane by HOWL. As obviously they need a lot of points to be able to make this work. Lazar moves out into the open, and actually, despite all the utility being charged up for it, Nixu's still able to get the shots down. If he finishes it off, HOWL here in shambles. They're falling apart.
No better way to put it, honestly. And this is where my fear of the HOWL PC spring performance was a one-time thing. The way they went about their good performance during PC spring was full control in team fights. They knew how to back each other up. They knew that if one player got knocked, they had to be in a position from where they could then defend and make sure the flush didn't come through. Here, they're all over the place. Matt gonna prone down. He's seen. Easy peasy for Nixie. That's gonna him down. HOWL has just, I mean, completely lost their drive in this tournament.
They're hoping for other teams to be helping them out here, and it will be Monarch from a distance from the church to try and get some shots to alleviate some of that pressure. A little bit ambitious. Could have maybe gone in for a little bit of a wider angle to negate those bars, but doesn't matter. As now, once again, Exhalation just taking wounds, being gouged at here by Question Mark, who unfortunately that did bounce on through. I think actually that hit.
That's
or
on.
Yeah.
Wait, what?
No. I think it bounced down, yeah, towards the stairs. It's a little unfortunate there off the edge of that window.
Now, how about sat on his own here? Again, a similar situation to what we saw on TAEGO earlier. If he finds just one flush here, that is, in my opinion, somewhat unforgivable for Question Mark. 4v1, they know approximately where they have him. There should not be a reason for them to take any casualties. A player knocked, that's fine. Can work with that. But a flush confirmed shouldn't be the case at all. First knocks come through.
He's running.
That's best to lock down, and here's the pull-up. Nice play. Nice push in from Question Mark. They're leaving. They're driving down the hillside, but where are they opting to go? Are they pulling up on Wu? I mean, they were here early. They saw the fight between the two teams, and they might just be pulling up on them. Issue is they're pulling up very far apart from one another. So Clem has made it up here with a teammate. We're seeing a bike on the top floor of the building there as well. And now the remaining players have arrived as well. So Wu trying to fend this one off on their own.
Maybe don't kill Danimon. It's very important. I need to see him on a bike. But, I mean, actually, Question Mark has also dropped on top of Picardo as well while this has been going on. So absolute chaos going to be unfolding here at the moment as Navi is trying to get rid of FaZe, who's trying to push up onto their position here. Mexi in the kill feed taking out Dante. So Question Mark's drop onto Entropiq so far. Not successful.
We effectively have full fights happening here at the exact same time. FaZe trying to stay afloat, but it's just Gustav on his feet trying to get Corexit back alive. As example, lops one more nade forward. Oh, but in the wrong building.
And there is still threats a little bit closer. I mean, of course, dealing with Fex is nice, but it's going to be difficult. Initial sprays trying to come in, but the reinforcing shots here coming in from the distance against him. So that if they try to transition away from that building towards example, actually, the other members of Navi have a good angle on him.
Yeah, and right now, for Question Mark, while they have lost best luck, this is a team that they do not want to give points across to. Philfus, though, does fall. Entropiq down to 2. Ooh, nice shot from above, Entropiq. As Nail-Up finds the angle once more. Forced inside, though, from Monarch, and now it's just a Doozy left alive.
FaZe and Navi, high-profile matchup, still kind of locking horns with one another. Not really budging, but Corexi will make them budge with a big nade to start things off. Gustav's going to follow it up. That's a belter, I think.
Yeah. One is
underhand
set on, and now, yeah, you'd have to imagine he falls here too. Indeed, he does. And with the amount of damage coming through, imagine that maybe this is where FUT Esports opts to go this direction. They've seen the double knocks now on Navi. They saw damage done to FaZe early. They should know this is where that fight is taking place, but of course, they're currently busy elsewhere.
Again, the last survivor here for Navi did not make the transition to try and bring the thunder to them. And we will see as Clem here with AfterAlt. Still kind of in a bit of a stalemate alongside the Wu, who have constantly been in these compound fights.
Been down to 2 for a while now. A CB with the Famous in hand. He's the weapon up close. We'll see what he can make of it as he's now starting to get shot from the distance. AfterAlt taking casualties by the second.
Wow.
I think he realized that he wasn't going to get a whole lot after this. Tried to come in for the flush on one. And now, just exactly inside the circle, just to be taken down by Savim.
Yep, they've got quite the vantage point here from all of this. The one thing that could potentially rumble them is Exalt coming up on their west side. So we'll see if they can make a transition against that. Nail firing off against FUT here, who now make the move against this compound that you were mentioning before. It is a decent entry point for them if they're able to make it work, but it doesn't look like it has worked at all.
Oh, and it's a lot due to Nail up on the 5-story building here. He took out T-Bone before. Now on approach, he takes out Bart as well. This looked to potentially be a good game for FUT again, but Nail truly making this journey impossible for FUTers. Oh, one more nade gets close, but not close enough.
All right, well, somehow still alive, though. A little bit of buying time here for the moment, but any move he does make, technically, I think Entropiq could eventually see him if they're not preoccupied with what question mark's doing against them. In the distance, Lyran actually dislodging Vascu, so actually getting that. It's a long-range nade up against where they are.
But only got hit just now, so they gotta worry about it. Then the last no peeks on over, gets one with an A2 with the organ hand, and almost takes out the entirety of Exalt. Is that Nate gonna fight him? Yes, it is, but it's gonna be Molotov from the other side, so Nate himself and his teammates. So, unlucky in that one, but the points will go over to Yeppa.
But, I mean, they've got 93 points now. 5 kills from this game. It's pretty decent.
Just one team outside of placement points as well. As the Deuce will fall, we do make our way into the top 8. Monarch tried to pull up, but EA ready for that one. A little bit of help coming through from the other side as Killikai is able to find one. But a nice hold off here by Lyran, a player we've been praising as one of the kind of under the radar players for DA, but so far, no good point. Now, does Acend realize that Gustav is still alive? They're looking the other way, Mouse. Finds the first one. Solo player left alive on the side of Monarch. They want to be fast about clearing this snake out. Nice nade lopped on over from Killikai as he takes him out, but this should be the time for the Rex to potentially make a move, as they are a little surprised by the push that came through from the other side.
Here goes the duo. Global Army and Baron Peak peeking over the hillside themselves. Voldemort switched to Voldemort. I knew it was going to happen eventually. Voldemort peeks for it, and Global Army goes down. How did he hit 200 people with that one shot? But there you go. Can I get that res on? The nade coming.
Yep, that's good as well. Oh, that was a bit too far there.
Sticks the
Yeppa,
res.
again, Yeppa, they're being quiet about this push. I feel like this was their chance to peek on over to get the kill confirmed, but it's a difficult ridge line to really go aggressive on as Corexi tries to run on forward. I don't think he intended to underhand and flash himself. There probably should have been a smoke, but at least now Acend knows that there's a snake coming from behind.
Twisted Mind sent big to the middle, and that could be the winning play for them, considering they've seized some control here, which is very important.
One molly here from Batulans, depending on how many bikes they have inside that shack, of course. Could be death of 2 DA players. At least they're both on fire. Perfectix finds one. Does the molly get the better of Lyran? No, it won't. As I say that, though, yes, indeed it will. Spyro finds the connection on the other side. And now, Yeppa and Savim fight this one off. They had a chance, Yeppa, to make the aggressive play earlier when there was a knock player on the side of Savim. They opted not to. Now let's see if they can make it happen here.
And Twisted Minds is going to have the onus on them. They're going to try and push across this hillside and clean up everything that's going on here as well. Savim in danger. They're going to be driving away from this, realizing that, oh no, if Twisted Minds is here as well to try and go for it. It's a P90 in hand, and it's an absolute laser. It's actually Perfectix with the shots that's able to make that happen, but the P90 put in some work as well. And that's Twisted Minds shutting down Savim handedly.
Yep, this looks like cleanup duty for Twisted Minds as they now wrap up towards the north. This should allow for Corexi to get a second place guaranteed, depending on how aggressive he opts to go here. Maybe even a win, depending on how this one unfolds. But of course, we know Corexi ain't one to just sit around and wait this one out. No, he wants as much as he possibly can.
Charging up that Orm. What will he hit? It actually does get him for the 81 damage there. Voldemort pulls out the Org quickly and goes for the spray down. They are still consciously aware, though, that there is a snake somewhere. And there will be Batulans hitting Odin on the distance and actually able to connect with him very, very nicely. Both teams are a little bit cautious.
Now with Corexi peeking over. That extra blue. Not a whole lot they can do. Twisted Mind's going to push forward here. Only one kill so far, though, on this fight, as they do find the second this time around. But a lot of damage coming in return from Voldemort. But look at the amount of blue damage coming through. So difficult to go aggressive here. Having to respect the blue, and now Batulans lopping and laid on down finds Voldemort as well.
very rough. Batulin's putting in a lot of work alongside this, and now it's going to be up to Kurexi to try and do some big rap.
Has to be at least 2 teams, right? So,
Ooh.
I mean, 6 method, 5 opponents, 5. Has to be 2 teams. I'm a little, not going to say worried that he's going for this, but there you go. Goes for it. Let's see if he can get more of it, or if this one is just a GG for Twisted Minds.
I mean, if there was ever a moment to try and deny yourself, it might be now, but
I mean, yeah.
Kurexi might try. If you can get a kill and then a flush on somebody quickly, that's always worth.
Just don't kill Perfectix, because he's in my fantasy team.
Don't kill Lou. He's on mine and Martin, so we're 2-1.
Oh, please kill. No. Thank you, Lou. I take that. I'll take that any day of the week. Twisted Minds out victorious. Had me worried for a second there. But thank you, Lou, I suppose. I'll give that 1 extra point over to you guys.
As they are usually the... Oh, Exalt as well, though. This could be a big fight as Molodox coming and swinging on around from the side here. CC and X, although actually able to shoot all the way from the south here from Sarvam. Chris going for some shots, not to be the case, though. Artix will shut it down. Needs to get into the building here, though, along with Fair as the Molodox to try and keep themselves safe. As this is a battle and a half.
Yep, double kill coming through from Gilly. Guy still has a little bit of HP to work with, but needs to spring around. Doesn't have enough. Able to take him down, and now... I don't see, I mean, who's left alive? It's just Rex trying to get Chris back on his feet.
Yeah.
On the side of Acend. Again, I mean, when you're forced to take the fight outside, you kind of have to commit to it. You can't just run inside, but issue is half the server could see them from where they were, so that fight only became that much harder. Yeah, exactly. DA able to wrap on a bit further forward. Again, just take the terrain you're given. Lyran's got to move from afar. That might be the direction they want to kind of peek on over, because who's run up this hillside is going to be dangerous, but not as dangerous as Chris's current position. A wall, and a fence to work with. A whole lot of people looking his way. Sarvam spots him, takes him down.
Jeems took the initiative early, moved forwards ahead of the rest of the team so that he could try and shoot, get overlook on what question marks showing at the moment. But Twisted Minds is also barreling towards FUT.
Full on pulling up on this one. T-Bone following a nade on out. Oh, had that one hit on the inside of the wall there. The fence line, that would have been absolutely perfect, but not quite the case. There's just 2 left alive. 0 points so far for FUT Esports. Swapping over to the Zornov. Able to find Lou early on, but has to back off. Can't quite defend the angle. Full on. Now, help coming from the side as Isum able to take one down with him.
From a distance, not too bad at all. Quite far away up on the north side. Beamy trying to shut down Batulins, trying to drive around in the buggy, but that's a bit too ambitious. Twisted Minds here going to get completely shut down. Beamy with the moves. Loving it.
They're going to do it for FUT as well, with Beamy just being a solo left alive, seeing this happening. I'm sure he's pretty pleased with it. Look at Looks, headshot connected. The player with no helmet ain't going to be all that difficult to make happen. Nail up goes down as well. That's actually AfterAlt from up towards the south side, up the hills there. To third party this one as well. Fourth party, I suppose you call it.
Yeah, they're chipping in. This is tough. And big more sprays coming in from Mexi here to try and get something done. He's been a force for Entropiq throughout the last 2 days. Yeah. I don't know if enough we can get things done. He actually gets some more of it. That's 3 for Mexi. I don't know if he can heal himself up in time. So Entropiq's probably done here. Lucarux is going to try and do something, but even if they did, Exalt's right there and waiting.
First 3 teams out are the top 3 teams. We wouldn't have it any other way in terms of how close this is going to be coming into tomorrow's final 6 matches. In the meantime, now Exhalation trying to regroup, trying to back off. But once again, Jeems able to flank around, able to get into these kind of one circle ahead sort of positions for his team and apply extra pressure.
It's only Beamy alive for FUT, as you were saying before. I don't know if DA can do as much with this on the east side here, but Ibby is actually doing so much against them. That's a double already to start things off. He's looking for the point straight away.
Trying to confirm them, wanting to confirm them, but Alia from down below, lobbing a nade on over, takes him down as he was low HP already. The vehicle explosion will get the second as well. So only 1 point claimed for the Wu in a tough push forward there.
I felt like Ibby was collateral damage and all of that. I don't think he was really aiming for him. They were more aiming for a DA, but Hearth unfortunately drops his own nade and kills himself off. Not easy to deal with, unfortunately, as Navi is still on the warpath on this eastern side. Looking for a transition point from here. It's not going to be easy to find, but, I mean, they're just going to shoot at everything for now. Wait until the blue pushes them out of that position and then deal with it then.
Beamy and FUT out just prior to placement points, so no extra added. As Metralius is able to get just inside, so 1 extra for him as we now have 7 teams left alive. FaZe still alive with all 4 as they try to creep on in, but they have to take this fight to Exalt, and they have to do it now. At the same time, Sabim, the more damage they can do to Navi before they make their way closer towards him, it's just going to make that endgame much easier.
Alright, these 4. Still, the bombardment continues here from Exalt onto the position of FaZe, but that is a cheeky angle and a half. Gustav making full use of that against Faeris, who used to be absolutely a beacon for Exalt, but has really not been able to get much traction on the track here for Exalt. Oh,
catching up. In the meantime, James spotting players up high. Good thing for Schiller is that BaronPeak is still looking down in this direction, covering his back as he left himself a bit exposed to FaZe Clan there. That nade's gonna be not too far. Thought it was gonna be good, but Alia! Good for the double headshot. But now, again, as you said, they were wounded before, but this is pretty dire straits for a lot of these teams. 7 bullets for Corexi.
And when you've got these guys looking down at you with M24s, MK12s, global armies just absolutely destroying this position. Wait a minute. No. Oh, okay, well. Global armies on my team as well.
Yeah, wasn't bound to happen. As Navi doing what they can to try and pressure Sabim. As I say that, Corexi is going to be the one to find the double. This is huge. Corexi is still alive for FaZe. This is going to force Sabim to go back for the rest. They can't focus the fire down below. Yep. Corexi will actually get the flush on 1. This could not happen. Sabim had the plateau and still does. Should be able to maintain full control. Now, Lassa forced to run on down. Gets the knock on to Example. It's going to buy him a little more time for the rest to come through on his teammates.
I felt he held the angle very intentionally, knowing who he's up against here. Because they have that high ground position. They have the advantage. If you can shut them down in just any slight way, then there's the potential that they don't get that many placement points here if you're able to hurt them against the other teams in the lobby. Now that it's only Corexi left alive, but it remains to be seen.
Elias baiting the attention. He's still sat back on the other side. If this has gone unnoticed by Sabim, that is a big mistake. But now Uber shoots down below. They were exposed to HOWL. Unlucky that they have to give up the position, give the info across. They were set down.
Looking for the shots. What can he find? As, Alia able to hit with the mini. A big angle to take. And now, if Navi pushes on this, this could be massive for the boys in yellow. Goes for the shots. Melman, the fragger of the team, gets BaronPeak. There's only 1 left alive here for Sabim. If they wrestle the high ground away from them, they could fire down on HOWL, no problem.
This is Navi taking matters into their own hands, but the longer time they're spending on this ridge, the more they're leaving themselves exposed to 2 teams. They cannot fight on both fronts. Now, Alia falls. They need to do damage in return. Lassa is pushing on forward, has 4 smokes to work with, can buy time. Matt is down behind on the other side, but because Navi didn't commit fast enough, they're in trouble. Now, CC falls to blue. They went for the rest, didn't happen fast enough. And now, once again, shots connecting as Lassa finds 1 more. Does he spot him in the open as well? Yes, he does. Finds a second as well. Lassa really trying to bring this one home for HOWL.
Finally, HOWL coming alive in this tournament. Not many kills to boot here, but Global Army is able to shut down the rest of HOWL. It's not going to be HOWL coming alive. Spoke too soon. It's up to Example versus Global Army.
There's been a tournament prior. I'd say Example had it for free. Now he does win anyway, but what a game. What a finish off on the day. We're seeing glimmers of old Navi come back here at different points throughout the day and finally able to bring this one home too.